My name is Chris Claremont. You're watching Omni X-Men.
Hi, I'm Bob McLeod, and you're watching Omni X-Men.
What is up, everybody? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. That's right, it's another episode of Omni X-Men. We're breaking down X-Men 199 in this beautiful omnibus here that we've been continuing to read. If you guys are just joining us, we do this every season, a new omnibus from the Chris Claremont run. We're on season technically season 6, volume 5, because last season we went to New Mutants volume 1, but we are back on the main X-Men title, and we're going into 199, about to hit 200. Pretty crazy. It's been a little bit of a wild week, but you know, I'm wearing my glasses right now. I had an eye infection earlier. My co-host was in the ER, which was not good. Omni X-Men it's been a brutal week for us, but we're here. We're getting ready for the holiday season. Let me bring on my co-host and good friend John from John's Comics with Kids. John,
Pew 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 pew. Let's go, gang. Let's go. Have you got the elf? This is the elf on the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, I love that.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I just talking about how beat up we've been. I feel like it's been a brutal couple days between the two of us. You maybe more than me, but
man, getting old is the pits.
Not fun. Still trying to work on that time machine.
But, get that together. You know? We can only do, unless it's like that Days of Future Past kind of future. We don't need that. We don't need to go.
Oh yeah, no,
we don't need that future.
No. We get little glimpses of that tonight. It's a little scary. Man, we're getting close to that 200 mark, John. I can't believe. Obviously we started at 194, but still.
I know, right?
Or not 194. Sorry, 94.
94. Giant size X-Men and then 94, and now we're nearly to the trial of Magneto.
Time flies. Yep. I'm really excited because we have one of my favorite guests of the year, as always, as she joins us, and a Chicagoan who I was just in Chicago, by the way. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet up, but excited to have our good friend Candis back on the show. Candis, what is going on?
Hey guys,
it's good to see
everybody.
You.
Good to see you guys too. Hi.
Yes, hey, for those who don't follow Candis, you certainly should if you don't already. I put her information in the description below. Candis, we appreciate you as always, not just for joining us tonight, but always being part of the crew, the Omni X-Men crew, being in the chat, supporting us, showing up, and we just really, really appreciate that. And so excited that you enjoy these books the way we've been enjoying them. So we appreciate you for that too.
Yeah,
how's everything going?
Oh, sorry. Go
Everything's good. Yeah, just been looking forward to joining you guys again, as I had the last couple seasons, and ready to talk some X-Men. We're all repping the X-Men today.
Yes.
Had to get some new gear. But
I think what I always liked about you in our chats and when you're on the show is, Justin and I have the read too much X-Men, reading the beginning, starting off and reading for the first time X-Men kind of thing covered, and it's nice in the chat to have that. I think it brings a lot of questions about who is this and what is this? Am I supposed to know this? Am I not? But I feel like you bring this wonderful excitement for this that I really appreciate every time you're in the chat.
Of course, I always tons of questions, so I always appreciate you guys answering them. Who is this?
What's going on? Sometimes we don't know, and sometimes I don't even know who that guy is.
Okay, cool. Everybody else is lost too. Great.
Yep. Yeah. I was gonna say a lot of times you're not alone, Candis. For sure. I mix up half the time too.
And we share a common love for Amanda Sefton.
Yes. Such an underrated character.
Amanda and all those little bamps.
Oh my God.
Well, like I said, make sure if you're not already following Candis, make sure you do so. Her links are down below, and make sure that you're also following John, because we will be back over on John's channel in a couple of weeks. We're actually going to take our holiday break after tonight's episode, so the next 2 weeks we will be off. But come January, that first Tuesday, we're going to be back over on John's channel, picking up where we left off, which will be on 200 at that point. So,
no, actually, we have two issues before that.
Oh crap!
We're going to do. It's New Mutants special edition number 1 with Bearded Comic Bro, and then there's an annual. There's an Uncanny X-Men annual. So these two kind of filter in.
Oh man, I don't know if I can wait, John. This trial, I think I'm gonna jump into it. Even though
somehow I'm getting all the giant issues this this season. That New Mutants
Yes.
Special Edition 1 is a massive book.
Oh.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
And then there's an annual, I think, on top of that. Yeah, annual number 9, which is the one that shows Storm on the cover wielding Mjolnir and like.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Yep. I can't wait to read
That's
that too.
giant size annual, which you get to do number 9
Nice.
with art by Art Adams. So Arthur Adams
deal.
is coming on to do that issue as well as the one I'm doing. So we get some Art Adams art.
Very cool. Very
Perfect.
cool. Well, yeah. So just mark your calendars, folks, that we will be off these next 2 Tuesdays, but we'll be back come the new year. So with that being said, I want to remind everybody too to stick around till the end of the show because we will have our normal trivia for questions that we have based on last episode and last issue. So be ready for that. We're always looking for 2 correct answers and 1 incorrect answer that can make Candis laugh the most. So have your answers ready for that as we throw those questions out. And of course, we do this because we do a big giveaway at the end of the season. So shout out to our artist artist of the season, the Fraim brothers, which right there is John's holding up. Let me blow up the screen there. This is a wonderful piece that you have a chance to win at the end of the season, thanks to the Fraim brothers. Definitely check out their work. I put their links in the description below, their website, their Instagram channel. And yeah, this is a piece that they had done that we had bought from them that we want to gift to all of you, or one of you lucky ones who will win this based on the drawings at the end. So yeah, really
awesome.
Right? Incredible piece. And again, yeah, check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, let's say a quick hello to the chat. And then we'll get it going. John, yes, here we go. Look at you being the first one in the chat. Let's see. We got my man Matt Impress Comics. What's going on, Matt? I was just texting him earlier about some rock and roll music albums to check out. John will have to send that to you later too.
Now you're talking. What I can't remember which album you're doing next. Did you already announce it?
We did. We're doing the Ghost. It's a band called Ghost. Actually, and I do think, John, that you'll really enjoy this one. It's a band called Ghost. It's one of their albums from 2020.
Your last recommendation put me in the ER. I don't know. Why I feel
Oh no!
It really did.
No, I'm kidding. I it's been a fun series. So I really want people to tune in when you're doing these lives. I love it when people are showcasing the stuff that they're passionate about, and even not having listened to prior. Was it something of a butterfly? The Pimp a Butterfly. Sorry, I was like something of a butterfly. Pimp a Butterfly. I had never listened to that album before. I don't know that I had listened to a lot of gangster rap. Let's just put it that way. You could tell by looking at me probably that I have not listened to a lot of gangster rap in my life. But listening to you guys talk about it, it really did light a fire under me to give it a shot. And I've listened to the whole album, and I'll pass. Like I'm not going to go forward with it, but I
gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you gave it a shot, and and yeah, it's definitely been a fun series. And speaking of, there's John Big Daddy Ross, who is one of my co-hosts for that show. So anybody wondering, we have talked about this a little bit now, but yeah, we're doing this music show. So it's the next one's going to be the 30th, December 30th. That's a Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern. So if anybody's interested, it's me, John Big Daddy Ross, and Noah Broke Boy Comics. So we're going to be talking about Ghost, their album from 2022, Impera. So anyways, yeah, appreciate that. And John in the chat, good to see you, my friend, as always. Yeah, let's keep it going. We got my man Ryan, aka Magic Lasso, in the chat, says hello. No Comics Justin, Comics of Friends, the awesome Candis B, and of course Diana Ross and our Rachel Dinners. Cyclops tonight. I expect JP to be here. Hopefully he's here.
Yeah, where is he at?
Let's see. Everybody's saying hello. I see our good friend Adam makes stuff up. What is going on, Adam? Good to see you always. We got our good friend Jackson Roy Kirk, as always, hanging out as well. Appreciate you, my friend, for tuning in. Let's see. Scrolling. People saying hellos. Thanking everybody. I had seen. Oh yeah, yep. Fraim Brothers, absolutely. Yep, and it's on a 101 facsimile. Good point.
It is, yeah. Jackson had a great question right above that. Yeah.
Reading. Go ahead.
Yeah, his question is about like how is the annual, or how are these omnis laid out? And Justin's omnibus and my omnibus are actually laid out differently, and I did a little breakdown of it on my YouTube channel. You can find that video. I linked it in pretty much every one of the videos we've done on my channel so far. But it is interesting which books land where, because that Nightcrawler one obviously was quite long, and that covered 4 months. And so, do they put it at the beginning when the first issue dropped? Do they put it at the end when the last issue dropped? There's kind of some of those questions about how the chronology of this all plays out. So we're following my omnibus, which is the Prelude to Mutant Massacre omnibus, which is a little different than Volume 5 Uncanny omnibus. And mine has a few more books in it, which we'll cover at the very end of the season. But otherwise, they all have the exact same issues, just in maybe slightly different order.
Yep. Yeah, and I did want to bring that up tonight too, because we get a little mention of Long Shot, but I'll wait until
I did notice that.
Let's see. We got our guy Bobby Delaghetto, Station Bobby, as always. Good to see you as well. John likes Brooks and Dunn and Tanya Tucker. I mean, Magic Lasso, I know you always throw it out there. You know I'm a big Brooks and Dunn fan. I don't know if we've ever talked about it, you and I, right?
But I think you have the most diverse music taste of anybody I've ever met, Justin. I think so. I'm not white enough for country, and I'm not dark enough for rap, and I just fall squarely in the middle, and that's all I got for you. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm Taylor Swift, basically.
I love Taylor Swift. Her new album is fantastic. Oh, there was a comment I missed before. This I wanted to highlight this. Ryan said, so Justin is responsible for all the cold weather we've been having. Yeah. I mean, I brought it with me from Chicago.
It's pretty cold here.
yeah, very chilly. I was glad to get out right for the snow.
Yeah.
You guys got hammered. And
it's pretty bad. Yeah.
All right. We got the chat. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's dive into this thing. We got Uncanny X-Men 199. We got the cover here by John Romita Jr. John, gonna pass it to you first. What are your thoughts on this cover?
I don't think it's my favorite Phoenix cover. I don't think it's worthy necessarily of the Byrne Cockrum kind of stuff that preceded it, but I do think it's very compelling. I love the way you almost might not notice that the background makes the shape of the Phoenix. You might just be focused on the lettering and so like that, but it actually does create the bird behind.
Oh my god, I didn't notice that.
It's easy not to see it because, and I do think that's one of the flaws of the art, is that you can kind of not see some of that stuff, but but I do think it is still very compelling, and it sets up the concept of Rachel's connection to her mom and the Phoenix Force in general. So it does have tap into some of those vibes. I just wish it did it a little bit better. I'm not like in love with it, and I do think it's one that I routinely would just sort of pass by. But I do love the look of this costume for her, this design where her skin is red, she almost has no pigment, and her eyes and mouth just come in white. It's very demonic, and I'm there for that, even if she still has the Jedi ponytail thing going.
Which looks kind of like a devil tail. I don't know why from here.
Right?
Yeah. And Matt too said totally missed the Phoenix until you said it, John.
And I would throw that blame squarely on John Romita.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do better.
Candis, what about you? What are your initial thoughts when you first saw this cover?
Well, I didn't notice the Phoenix in the back for some reason. I think just because the focal point was on Rachel, and then just seeing the Phoenix also. I read that the Phoenix on her chest too, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of just the Born Again, and just kind of thinking about, okay, this is clearly going to be about her having her mom's abilities, because I don't remember if we've dove into that too much yet. I feel like they might have mentioned it, but I was more interested in that the storyline of where it was going to go, and this is actually a cover that actually represents what's inside, which is good too. But yeah, I agree, not my favorite. I feel like I've seen it, or maybe it's just similar to a couple other covers. I don't know which ones, but it's not a bad one. Especially because it says basically what's inside, which sometimes is helpful. I think it's a decent cover.
Yeah, and great point about the pose. That's definitely a popular pose, especially for this whole X-Men run. Between 101, you had one with Binary doing kind of a similar look. You had one of Storm at one point, kind of having a similar, arms open kind of look. So you're right. That definitely that pose has been used.
The coloring too.
Different characters.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. I feel, I mean, I certainly recognize it just from flipping through stuff, but it's never been a cover where I'm like, wow, that thing's gorgeous. Out of, all the other kind of covers in these recent issues that we've been going through, again, it feels to me like, and this is just the flaw that, the problem I have with Ramita. I feel like it just lacks like detail that I would have hoped that it would have had. Like, I feel like the lines are too straight, or it's too like basic. I don't know how else to describe that, but like her face and her legs, everything's just like straight lines, like I just feel like it was like traced, or I don't know. Like it could have been way better. And I think it was like a missed opportunity. And again, this is more so just, this is Ramita and this is where he was at, at this time. And so because of that, it still just doesn't quite do it for me as far as being an amazing, cover, but it's fine. I think Candis, how you put it, like, I think it's fine. It's not like terrible. But it's also not like a 10 out of 10 either.
Yeah. I almost kind of wish it like homaged more to like some of the actual like Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah.
As Rachel.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be cooler.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm with you guys. Bobby said great cover. He really liked it. Roy Kirk says, yeah, trying to be flashy with a little effort. Yeah, definitely see that. Okay. Well, let's keep this going. So kick off the issue with some scenes from the Danger Room, and we get our guy Cyclops back. I feel like we haven't really seen him featured this, focused in a while. So see him here kind of shooting some things down, and we have Moira McTaggart and Wolverine up in the top of the Danger Room, kind of calling the shots. And he's, Cyclops is doing his thing. He's got no problem handling the Danger Room as is. And Moira's kind of chiming in saying, hey, we need to talk. Cyclops, we need you up here. Let me, turn this thing off. And he's like, oh, no, don't worry, I got it. And he is able to do it himself with his blasts. So, and then in that corner there, we get a little visitor, which we'll get into here afterwards. But Logan kind of giving a nice little slow clap for Cyclops. John, what are your thoughts on this quick action scene, and especially jumping in with Cyclops, who we haven't really seen in a while?
I mean, the artwork is excellent, and we can get on Ramita for his flaws, but he draws Cyclops really well.
Agreed.
I love the way he nails this old school costume that he's got with the funky the pirate boots he wears. Really great. And so the splash page, great start off. Moira and Wolverine watching over him, I thought was great. And then it highlights what Cyclops does really well. He improvises really well. He knows his skills really well. He's got a lot of confidence. And I think, it's a good reminder of why he has the role that he has for the team, even if we know he's something of a Boy Scout and can make some troubling romantic decisions. It's nice to see the man highlighted in a positive way.
Yeah, well said. Candis, what about you? What were your thoughts when you first dove into this book?
Yeah, no, I agree with Jackson. That definitely is better than the cover. Just opening to that splash page is really cool. Just a really good, like, dynamic action shot, and going, oh yeah, this guy's back. I definitely did not miss him, but I definitely do agree, like seeing him like at what he does best, and of course, like a very iconic Danger Room scene, and then seeing Moira and Wolverine right away with that. I like the splash page a lot, and it's a pretty good one. And then I also was like, why is it called Spiral Path? And then I think I realized why it was, of like a character that's in it later. So that made sense. But it's a good one.
Yeah, good point, and good call on the title too. Yeah, didn't when I first saw that too, I was kind of questioning what direction they were going to go with that until we met some people. Well said. Adam said, who? I mean, Psych hasn't been in the mansion for like a year. It's true. He hasn't.
Give the man his honeymoon, Adam. Gee.
Longest honeymoon ever.
Yeah, right. Seriously, really long. Cyclops, that smirk. Yep. I'm with you. It definitely highlights some really cool aspects and reminders of kind of what Cyclops can do, at least on the battlefield. So let's keep it going here. So yeah, we do at that bottom corner, we do get a visitor. We get Rachel Summers, who is reminding Cyclops, hey, hey Cyclops, I was wondering if we could meet for a little bit and talk. I think it seemed like almost it was planned at first, but Moira has been like, she's like, hey, I need you up here right now. We have to have this conversation. And so unfortunately, Cyclops kind of puts it to the wayside. He in Rachel's mind, she's like, like it seems like something's up, like he doesn't even want to see me. At this point I was trying to remember, we don't quite know the details of like who knows how much about what. Rachel knows everything, but from Cyclops perspective, until we find out on this next page, he's kind of like, she didn't look happy. You know what's going on with her. But the subject quickly changes when Cyclops does talk with Moira and Wolverine, and basically Moira just cuts to the chase. She is like snappy with them. She's like, look, here's the thing. Professor X is dying, and we don't have a lot of time left. He is scrambling, trying to tie all the knots, or untie all the knots, I should say, that have been created, and he's trying to fix everything he can before he potentially may die. We get the reminder of how he got jumped and saved by the Morlocks, and apparently this was about a year ago at this point now, which feels crazy because I feel like it was kind of sooner than that, but I guess it's been about a year. And then in the meantime, Cyclops is going over. Well, then they start talking about Magneto. They bring up Magneto, and he's like, "Oh, is that why Professor X has Magneto taking over? Is because he's dying and all this stuff?" And Cyclops really expresses how he feels about Magneto and that he does not trust this guy no matter what. So a lot kind of going on. And then at the end you get a little glimpse of hearing about he may live long enough to see the birth of your child, and you see Rachel kind of crying because we know that she's technically the child, right? So some interesting little back and forth. John, I'll throw it to you. What are your thoughts here on Cyclops' feelings towards Magneto and the whole thing with Professor X?
Who would have thought that a scene with all these characters would have Wolverine being the coolest and the calmest and the most relaxed of everybody?
That's so true.
Moira shouting and Scott's shouting and Rachel's getting upset, and then there's Wolverine just having a smoke, and he's just like, hey, I'm used to, you guys just tell me who to follow and I'll just follow that person, whatever. What I like about this scene is, without outright telling us, I think they are highlighting the fact that Scott is very uncomfortable with Rachel, and he doesn't know how to be around her, and he doesn't know what to do, and she's obviously reminding him of Jean and his fears of being a dad, because he's never been a dad, but the baby's on the way, and he's got all this anxiety about being a dad, and she's from this possible horrible future timeline, and he's scared of that possibility becoming a reality. And so she's sort of symbolic in a lot of ways of every single anxiety and fear Scott has, and therefore he is intentionally, I think, dodging her and ducking her, and I go, sorry, Moira's calling, can't go, sorry. I think it's one of those moments where he's glad to be snuck away from her, and I think that's hard on Rachel, and he's definitely avoiding the problem here, and of course choosing a bigger problem, which in his mind is Magneto. It does not belong here. He should not be in this mansion, and he should not be the one to take over for Xavier in any way. And part of him might be saying, like, I should be the one. But I don't know that he's old enough necessarily to have that burden on him. That's a lot, considering he's been at the school for a long time. He's not. He's supposed to probably be in his 20s somewhere. He's still a fairly young guy to be taking over the school and the whole thing. It's a lot, but he definitely doesn't feel ready to have Magneto be the boss.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, Jackson Roykirk, I can't unsee this now. It definitely looks like Daria from
I know.
movie.
I do see that. Yeah,
big time. Candis, what are your thoughts here on some of this, and what do you think of the artwork on some of these kind of close-ups in the faces and things like that? Yeah,
well, starting with the artwork, that's a good point. It's actually pretty good. I would say.
Yeah.
Moira's especially. I really like her close-ups. Just really like good detail. But yeah, there's just a lot of really good conversations here. There was one thing I wrote down that Wolverine says about Rachel, that she's a constant reminder, or we're a constant reminder of all the things that she's lost and stands to lose again, which I thought was really actually very insightful from him.
Yeah.
And a really good point. I think in this scene, like I was kind of focusing more on just like how it was affecting Rachel, but I didn't realize like what Scott was kind of maybe thinking like towards her in that way. I thought maybe he was just more of like oblivious to that, but I think it's a
I mean, it's
really good
possible.
fair.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a really good point that what he could be thinking of just like between him having a kid and like worrying about that future and whatnot. But yeah, it's just like a really interesting dynamic of like just what's going on but in her head at the same time. And of course, like I'm sure she's taking it like personally, even though he doesn't know that that's her dad in the future. But I feel just bad for her. And then kind of talking about Magneto, or in Professor X, I didn't realize that, or maybe I missed it in the other issues of that it really was that serious that he was dying. I don't know if that is that by chance like anything related to like I know it's different series, but with like kind of with the animated at all, like how it's like similar like with those timelines in a way. I don't know.
You mean like the X-Men 97 and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, like
I know
how
that.
he
Yeah,
dies in that one.
X-Men
takes over.
97 is this era, right? It
Okay,
is.
yeah.
You get to see the trial of Magneto.
Yeah.
You get to see Storm losing her powers and getting them back. You get to see a lot of what we're reading in this omnibus and a little bit from the previous one. So it's almost like more like X-Men 85
Yeah,
than maybe
yeah.
97.
Yeah.
But it's that was that season that they just did was kind of their version of this era of in X-Men. So you're totally spot on. That's a great read.
Yep.
Yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, I guess and then Moira was also saying like that Professor X would have gotten better if he like rested and stuff, but I guess like she's like he's not taking things easily, so that's just not gonna happen. Like maybe if he would have.
Right.
And then let's see. Yeah, and basically just like Scott's like if this guy takes over, like we're just dead. He doesn't obviously have like a lot of faith in him
Right.
at all. So yeah, a lot of really good conversations. And one other thing was that Moira also was like, or I think it was her that said it, that like that Professor X is like a very proud man and he doesn't want pity or sympathy. So that's why it's like he's not making it seem more serious than it is too.
Yep.
And you're not wrong about like them. I do think a problem that they have in just reading Uncanny is that they didn't spend enough time on Magneto coming into the fold or Xavier's health worsening, because I think a lot of that stuff is happening in the Secret Wars 2 storyline, where you're seeing him interacting with the Beyonder and maybe trusting Magneto more in some of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's a flaw in just reading Uncanny is you're not. It does feel like things are maybe being missed a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point about like Cyclops' like reaction of saying that we're basically all dead if we signed. He says we signed our own death warrants. Interesting that Wolverine's like he speaks up. He's like, you could be wrong. Like he says, but he's like, you could be wrong. And I think it was more so not that he was not capable, but more so that they just straight up don't trust Magneto. That he's his agenda is going to be to kill or because he's essentially been trying to kill them for a long time or hurt them in some way. And like Kirk, this is a great point. Magneto, are you kidding? I still have scars from that guy. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's accurate. So I totally understand from his side of it. That he's
skeptical.
Scared. Yeah, like you're letting this guy into a house that you sleep in, and it's like he was literally trying to kill us in the past.
Exactly.
Yep.
So but yeah, so let's keep it going here. So then we flash over, a little bit of a change up here. We're back to Washington, D.C., the home of Valerie Cooper. Sorry, I got some dog sounds in the background. Valerie Cooper, and she gets a visit from herself initially, which first was a surprise, and it turns out to be Mystique. And Mystique basically says to her, hey, we the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants want to change our ways, and we want to work for you and help you, because she says she realizes that they're all being hunted down, and she wants to do what she thinks is now best for their race and saving mutants in any way that they can. And they actually think that this is the better way to go about it, is to is to work for the U.S. government and to help, basically whatever they need. And of course, Valerie's having struggles with, trusting this whole thing. I like that, Mystique kind of pans into different characters that she's more familiar with to kind of get her to cover. But of course, that would freak me out regardless. Right. But then she brings up, Valerie says, okay, you can work for us, but you got to prove it to me, basically by capturing Magneto. That now has set the stage for the rest of the issue, of the goal being for the evil mutants, no longer evil, to now hunt down or capture Magneto for Valerie and the U.S. government. So that was kind of these pages I wanted to highlight. But Candis, what were your thoughts on just seeing Mystique show up here and playing some tricks and wanting to
no, those are always entertaining panels when she does that, especially just like when she turns into the president at the time which I realized actually made him look pretty much like him, I noticed. But I kind of was just surprised by the whole interaction, I guess, not only just like it turning into Mystique, but then that she actually like wants to go up against or work with Valerie to go against like Magneto. So I was kind of surprised by that. Wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, same. Definitely didn't see it coming. John, what about you? What were your thoughts here on seeing our girl Mystique?
I almost can't pick who is more like villainous in this scene. Like there's shots of Valerie's face where she's just like, let's kill some people. And then there's shots of Mystique's face where she's like, I can be as evil as you want. Look, I'm Ronald Reagan now. There's some fun goings on here that I think are really interesting. And again, it's part of Mystique's bigger game here. She's trying to legitimize her fighting force, right? She's trying to legitimize her crew. We're rebranding the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants into the Freedom Force. See, it's got a great name now. Now everybody likes us, right? Yeah. There's so much relatable to the present day happening in this storyline right here that I'm just like, whoa, like it is so great the way Claremont was playing on, I think, some of the stuff happening at the time under Reagan that I think she's now like we can maybe find validity in later that I think is really interesting. And the way Mystique is manipulating someone who is clearly so devious, right? Valerie Cooper clearly has no compunctions, right? She is here to just clearly get rid of mutants. So she's like, well, how can I get in on the inside? And what are my bargaining chips? And how do I legitimize my crew? I thought it was fantastic. It was really good. Also, everybody has great hair. This is some 80s hair, okay? Look at the way Valerie's hair like is just flowing, and then she's got the big like poof on the top there. And even when we get Mystique in her red hair, it's like out
very
to the
voluminous.
sides, like bam, they blew dry everybody for this.
Yeah, it looks good.
Ryan brings up a good point. Says, I've always wondered, is the skull on Mystique's face jewelry or something else?
It is jewelry, and it is actually like, I want to say an explosive. Like she is able to use it as a weapon. Like I want to say it either blasts something or she can throw it like a grenade, and it'll. So she's used it, I think, in one issue prior to this. Yeah, but on occasion, she takes the skull off, or it can blast. It's like a one-time use kind of thing. But it is jewelry and weaponry in one.
It's like Vision. She's like Vision with
there it is.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, let's keep it going. So we get some heavy scenes here that are pertaining to Rachel, as we see that she's been struggling, and obviously the hint towards the cover here. But so she basically gets a little time to visit the cemetery of the Greys, which it gets a lot darker here for a second. And as she's thinking about the memories that she has, she also is walking into the house of what was technically in her world, her grandparents' house, which is Scott and Jean's parents. As she does this, she reminisces and starts to see all these like visuals, these flashbacks as to what had happened in this current world for Jean Grey, and why Jean decided to do what she did, and ultimately give herself up in the sense because of how powerful she was and how dangerous she was, and even to the point where her parents had kind of, or her dad had some harsh words and kind of disowning her, saying that you are not my daughter, and she really struggles with seeing this, and then meanwhile, as she does, and she kind of dives onto the couch there as she sees these projections, she then thinks of her own memories of her world, and on this far right side, as we're looking, and seeing Scott and Jean together, happy with her born in their hands, and just seeing everything that her mom stood for in that way. So kind of seeing the strength in her mom in both of these stories. Now, the one on the left, the first one we kind of visit again, is memories, and it kind of clarifies this in the book, but it's memories based on what she had read from the files of the Dark Phoenix from this current life, and then the stuff on the right is her own memories again from what she's kind of gone through. I am gonna, before I pass it to you guys, I'm gonna jump into this next just set of panels too, because it kind of goes hand in hand. But from all that and what she accepts from, or builds up from, knowing who her mom was, and the power that she had, and knowing that people were scared of her, and some even looked at her as evil, or as the Dark Phoenix, is it an evil thing? She decides that she wants to take over this Phoenix and show that it's not just an entity of evil. It's more than that, and she wants to prove for what her mother stood for, and for what she stands for, and she ultimately becomes the Phoenix here. This was a really big deal, and there's one part that I had to look back up because I couldn't quite remember where this orb came from, but she does see this orb in this one page, or did I cut it out? Oh, you know what, I didn't include it in this next one, but it's actually right before this panel. But she picks up the orb from the side desk, and that was something that Lilandra had given her back in issue 138. And that was basically a gift of where if you touched it, it brought back these memories, and that's how she's like getting the memories of this moment.
That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, just as a little flashback. So that was what the orb was. It ends up shattering when she drops it. But you get this awesome splash page. And basically it goes on to say that she's going to, use these powers in the way that for good, and to show that these can be good. And she says to make up for all the bad things that she's done in her future, because she does have these flashbacks of that was the part I left out, was she does have these flashbacks of like what she had gone through.
Yeah,
in
that's
her
that
other
page
world.
with her being the Hound again.
The Hound.
Which is obviously this PTSD that she's constantly revisiting, and that's when she picks up the orb at that point.
Yep. So she feels this guilt of her own, and that's part of what she feels is now she's got an opportunity to change or correct, and make better for with her life, put it to use in a sense when she does it. So this was a really big moment, and I thought for Rachel especially, just like as we continue to learn, I felt like there's all these little seeds and little notes of her history and all these things, but this to me was a much deeper walkthrough of kind of her history, and see where her mind is at right now. So John, I'll throw it to you, and again I can go back to the other page if you need me to, but what were your thoughts here on this scene with Rachel Summers' dinner?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. Obviously she's being impacted by just being in this environment, right? And she's got a mix of things happening. She's able to tap into the real memories of this place, which are completely foreign to her, and then her own memories of living in this place, which are completely different to this reality.
Yep.
And then struggling to sort of meld what Jean in this universe, how she managed the Phoenix Force, with maybe what she believes is possible with her own abilities. Could she manage it better, right? So she's got all of these puzzle pieces happening inside of her, and as is typical at Xavier's mansion, nobody's giving good guidance to these young people. There's definitely some flaws in that paradigm, that they're all busy whining about Magneto showing up, and nobody's helping the new Phoenix downstairs. So sad for sure, and emotional. And I do love some of the artwork in these pages is just absolutely fantastic. It really does capture the way they show, past and present and future kind of all blending here. Really some cool color work happening to differentiate between these different timelines. And then of course I love the Rachel with the like almost like the scars or the stripes across her face as the Hound, really creepy, like demonic look.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not the actual Phoenix Force, right? It's her abilities,
right,
mimicking as best as she can this ability.
Gotcha.
So she's not actually using the Phoenix Force, right?
Yeah.
She has telepathy, telekinesis, maybe even some astral projection stuff going on here that she is manipulating and feeling overwhelmed by it, right?
Yeah. I was wondering kind of how all that was kind of working here.
Yeah.
Ryan says, I feel like they knew Phoenix was a great character and they wanted to have the character back, but without the same overpowering problem that they had with Jean, but never felt Rachel connected how they wanted. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I am curious now kind of where that goes from here with such a big title or name that goes along with. But yeah, those are some great details. Candis, what about you? What were your thoughts kind of going through some of this? And one thing I want to point out for Candis, I know you had jumped into this show with us a few seasons ago, but technically it was after some of these scenes, which are part of the Dark Phoenix saga. I don't know if you've gotten around to reading.
I've only read a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Because these are like some glimpses that actually do kind of take place in that the first half of the other page. I'll go back to for a sec, but yeah, share your thoughts on here. What were you thinking?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to kind of like go back and read that, especially like after reading this part. But yeah, the whole thing was just very sad. Especially with like her visiting her mom, who's actually not really her mom in this universe, and then even like her grandparents who also died around that time. And then just like her seeing like how similar her mom's history and memories were in both timelines as Phoenix. And then it was also just sad that she felt like she let her mom down, but in her universe as well, and that she just wasn't as brave as her, that she like gave into when she was the what was it, the Hound? What do you call it?
Yeah, she's called the Hound.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe it's a branch of their crew that they call Hounds. She's just a Hound.
Oh yeah, so she didn't really like, of course, like the person that she was, since from what I'm understanding, like she would go after mutants also, even though she was one. So of course she wasn't proud of those moments. And then even though she said she was like very good at it, and then glad you explained about the crystal, because I was kind of like wondering what that is, like because it basically said that it was like had the essence of like Jean's personality, so I didn't really like know what that meant. But yeah, like the whole thing was just really interesting of like now how she's like, of course she lived in her own reality, but now she's kind of trying to change things in this new reality to see if by being almost like being Phoenix, if she can change her mom's history and her own. Yeah, but of course I don't really see that working how she hopes. But it is a cool moment to see like it trying to mirror that whole history of Jean. So I am really curious to see where this goes. I just don't think it's going to be a good thing, probably.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, really, really good like history and character building for sure. I would say this is probably, besides like Days of Future Past, like real, like definitely the most like interesting about her that I've read so far. Besides that, so yeah, I like this part.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, let's keep going. We jump back to DC, where we have an event, a National Holocaust Memorial that Kitty Pryde is going to, along with Eric and looks like Lee Forrester. And they're essentially, Kitty is speaking as well, sharing a little bit of her history, and after this other gentleman who had kind of first started the speaking. From that, they find out that Kitty's great aunt is someone that's connected to someone that Eric kind of knew or during his time in the camps when he was much younger. And then they have this other couple that kind of comes in and recognizes all of them, which is interesting. I think I did highlight here because there's a moment, and I'll go back to these pages, but I wanted to zoom in on this section here. So we get a moment here where that just really stood out to me as you see this older couple who basically say like, oh my gosh, we knew Shava was the name of technically her great aunt, and how her great aunt had a brother in America and the connection there. But the point I wanted to the part I wanted to point out was Kitty Pryde when she talks to Magneto and says, or because this couple basically like point out how important Magneto was to them, Eric was to them and their family, and what he did for those that did survive in this tragic time, and for Kitty to turn and say, wait, Eric, you were a hero. And Eric is so, I mean, they're like so grateful just seeing Eric again. We get this whole other side, I guess, is what I'm pointing out, that Eric is not this villain that we've always kind of visualized. And I think this is a big part, character storytelling wise from what Claremont's done to kind of show this background, these details. Like, we kind of started to get little hints of it, of his background. But this, to me, you really got to see these innocent people looking at Magneto in a certain way, or Eric in a certain way. And he says, hardly in those days, heroism meant only holding on to the humanity while the Nazis tried their best to turn us into animals. The way to defy them is to defeat them was to lie, to hold on to hope no matter what. He said, believe me, Kitty, I was no one special. If I am a hero, then so is every other man and woman who survived. And so he's being very human there and just very genuine, so it's really, really powerful moment. And then of course, as far as the rest of it goes, we get Lee Forrester kind of ruining this moment and turning into, or it's not Lee Forrester ruining it, but it happens to be Mystique, and we get the introduction of the Freedom Force that John had mentioned, and of course we get right into some action scenes, which Magneto immediately is like, hold up, you got my girl? Like, where's my girl? Like that first and foremost. Like, and what cracks me up about this scene, especially on the far right page, as Mystique's basically just like, hey, I'm part of the good guys now. I'm part of the police now. So y'all are gotta come with me or else something bad is gonna happen. And Magneto's like, why would I ever believe your words? Like, why would your words there's never in a million worlds where Magneto will be like, oh, you are? You're working for the police. Okay, let me just get myself up. You gotta show a badge or something. They should have given her something, because did the government think this too? Clearly the government didn't think, Mystique shows herself and she's gonna claim she's with us. How are they going to believe her or not?
Is your question? I got. You're saying you're stunned that there's a timeline where people who had broken the law were maybe pardoned and then turned into a police force that wears masks that are unidentified, that go out and just take people off the street without in any way. Are you surprised by this?
That are known that they're
science
evil.
Fiction, right?
Yeah.
Science fiction is crazy, right? This book is clearly wild. This could never. There would have to be oversight, right? There would have to be people verifying this information and not just grabbing them off the street.
That's right. I don't blame Magneto for not falling for this. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Comics are not political. Comic is not political. Justin, stop trying to find politics in our comic book.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. My mistake.
Sorry.
No, this is great.
But I mean, it's a shocking moment, right? Because they just bust into this joint. Look, gang, Mystique, read the room, man. Like, holy crap. This is a Holocaust memorial service.
Not the best timing.
These people, they survived one of the most awful events in human history, and you're gonna bust in that and in full costume with all your cronies and attack somebody and try to capture them in the midst of this thing. Just read the room,
especially Magneto.
You've been enough.
And you bring with you this guy in metal armor, Avalanche. It's I know it's not as bad as attacking with Colossus and Wolverine, who are basically made of metal, but still shocked here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. Yeah.
So I'll go ahead, Candis. I'll throw it to you. There's a lot that happens in here overall, but where do you want to start?
Well, before everything got really chaotic there, I thought it was a really, really good scene for sure. On a couple different things. At first, just seeing how Kitty and Magneto relate to each other, of having, of course, both being Jewish and having that history. And learning more about both of them, which I thought was really interesting. I like definitely that, especially like learning more about Kitty in that way for sure. And that part was just really impactful, especially again, like when I'm gonna repeat the quote, but just like when Magneto was saying, like, believe me, Kitty, I was no one special. If I'm a hero, then so is every other man or woman who survived. I thought that was a really, really impactful because you would think that supposedly since he's like the villain, that maybe he would think like really highly of himself, that he would be like this hero or something, but he's like completely the opposite, which is very surprising. And kind of like makes you look at him differently.
Right.
So it's like really interesting, like once Mystique comes in, of like kind of seeing how she's claiming to be the good guy, but she's really not. And then he's actually looking way better than her in this instance. So
right.
yeah, I thought it was a really good part. And I even forgot that Mystique was even like looking for him. So I was actually kind of surprised when she changed into Lee from Lee to Mystique. So
and that crazy demonic face.
Yeah.
swap
I was
there
like,
is
oh, that's
my-
right.
That's
Yeah.
some scary stuff.
Yeah.
But
really
yeah, they're
good guy.
humanizing Magneto
love
here,
that.
right? We're getting to see somebody who's like, I've never called myself a villain and I've never called myself a hero. I've always just been, me, right? I've always just been, I don't want to, he wouldn't say a human being, but I've always just been a mortal or whatever. Whereas Mystique is very much like relishing in being on the correct side of the law, even if she's not morally in the right. She is on the right side of the law, and she is relishing the fact that she feels this power, right? I can just burst into this very nice event and trash the joint and try to capture this guy, and I'm on the right. I'm the good guy.
Yep. Yeah, a lot going on in these pages for sure. And then of course, I mean, we could just keep going right into this next bit here because the action, basically keeps going as we see the rest of the team show up, or their team. Yeah, we get some different characters too that are introduced here, even though it's really cool to see Magneto, of course, doing his thing, wrapping Mystique up in the metal, but then it gets broken up by this chick named Spiral, who I am not as familiar with, and there are hints of Spiral being from Longshot's story, technically, which we're not at yet. That's why I thought it was interesting that we haven't read Longshot, but it's in the order. If it's not technically in the order of things, if Longshot was already kind of starting to come out at this particular time. The stories must have just been like side by side, I assume.
Longshot was like a really long miniseries. I'm trying to remember how many issues. It's 6 issues long.
Yeah.
So
it does reference.
It went from September of 85 through to February of 86. And this was, November of 85. So they had only done a couple of issues of Longshot.
So it was in the middle of Longshot.
Right in the middle of Longshot.
Yeah. So, which I was kind of wondering why or where they would put that in my omnibus is at the back. So I think they just threw it in the back for the sake of it being there. But anyways, just kind of a random, because I was like, who's this random chick with all these arms? At this one, it looked like all these
missing
arms.
Something.
Yeah. Like just questioning stuff. I mean, there's even a part in here where I just kind of ignore straight up because she talks about Mojo and their hunt for the runaway. I had no idea kind of what that was about, but it does say, see Longshot to learn more.
Yeah, they introduced the whole Mojo universe and who Mojo is as a villain in Longshot, and she is one of his, cohorts or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yep. So as soon as that happens, you get Pyro and the rest of the crew, which I feel like we haven't really seen in a little while. But they're going after Magneto. They understand how his powers work. Pyro seems pretty confident in attacking him, but they do have Destiny, which I wanted to zoom in again here because this was really cool usage of her powers and more of what I wanted to see the first time we got the introduction to her. From the Days of Future Past was technically when we first met her, but for her to just like talk to the team and be like, hey, heads up, here comes Nightcrawler, boom, like Blob is there to like grab her, Avalanche, Cyclops, and Wolverine, they're approaching from the courtyard. He's like, got it, check. All these different moments, even her realizing that Kitty announces or basically calls the team and then says they're going to be coming right through that door or that window or whatever it is, that wall, and you get him breaking stuff down. And then this was another scene I wanted to show was him Colossus charging at Pyro, and Pyro's like, he goes, Destiny, and she's like, he will reach you, Pyro. Like he goes, he will reach you, but he will not kill you. That's all she clarifies. And she's right that he will not kill. But she never says that, like, he's gonna knock the hell out of you. Like, if I was Pyro, I'd be like, you got to give me that heads up. Like, okay, I'm not gonna die, that's one thing, but tell me if I'm gonna get a bruise here. Like, this guy's gonna lay me out. I don't have it in this scene, but he does. He knocks him out. So that was a cool kind of bit, and Colossus getting his or able to get his shot in. And just some trickery with this Spiral girl. So, but eventually, as you see at the bottom right hand corner, Kitty, amongst all the chaos, Kitty is able to kind of sneak through. And I guess that's the one thing Destiny kind of missed, which you don't really see a lot of. But just her, I guess her really being more distracted, not so much that she didn't foresee it per se, but Kitty was able to knock out Destiny. So again, more action scenes here. John, what anything you want to highlight here on these pages?
I mean, the interesting part of Destiny's power is the limitations and abilities that she's got. I think, if you read the thought bubble she has there at the bottom before Kitty gets her, she says, it's the moment I foresaw. My own removal from the game is at hand. Like, she knew she had to be taken out, right? She knew that she had to be taken out, and she had to get to this point, because whatever her end goal is, she's playing three-dimensional chess here. She's trying to really like lay the pieces in the right order so that certain things will happen the way she wants them to happen. So I think in her mind, this was a success, even if she gets knocked out. She's also a really interesting character. I totally agree. I love her character design, even the weird egghead thing that she's got going. And when they take it off, she is like a grandmother. She's like 70 or something years old. Like, she doesn't look the way you might think underneath. She's been around for an incredibly long time. Now the character has been resurrected at different points, and during the Krakoa era, she was
younger
young
now,
again.
right?
She's been made young again. But at this particular point, she's much older, and they were still not allowed, because of Marvel at the time, to make her and Mystique lovers. So it's very much like, they're just roommates. They're just really close roommates.
Really good friends.
But just really enjoy the way she kind of is orchestrating all of this and manipulating everybody. Really cool. I'm here for you, Adam.
What about you, Candis? What do you think of the action scenes here and Destiny doing her thing?
Well, first impressions was I thought I was seeing Professor X, because Magneto has that really strong brow game right there at the top. I was like, is that you, Professor X? I don't know, that just like popped out to me. I was like, okay. I thought that was funny. But the whole all these panels was just like really, really fun. Also just very chaotic, where I was just having like all these characters thrown at me. Like, I kind of forgot about like half of these villains. So that's when I realized, okay, Spiral. That's why how they connected, I guess, to the title. Just like all the villains are popping in, then like the teams popping in, and just a lot was going on. I also like that panel with Destiny of how like it's kind of like like her head is like around I guess like a portal or whatever that is that Nightcrawler is coming out of. That's a fun one. Exactly. It was a lot to keep up with, but it was like just really cool, like just seeing like everybody basically come in and kind of reminding me about some of these villains, because I honestly kind of forgot about some of them. And just seeing like more
and some of them are fairly new, so you're totally
okay.
good.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, wait, am I just forgetting?
We've only seen some
I know Blob.
Blob and Destiny are kind of old school, and Pyro has been kind of in and out. But obviously, Spiral, you'd have no knowledge of her. And again, most of them have only been given, a few moments here or there. It's not like they were given backstory, extensive backstory.
What's the other guy's name? Avalanche. I barely know him either. He's
a villain that shows up a lot in New Mutants towards the end of that run, and in X-Force.
Really?
He fights with Cable and those guys a lot more often later. And because Freedom Force sticks around for a lot longer, and they are. New villains come into the crew as characters come in and out.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
So this is when the Freedom Force was launched.
Well, let's dive into this last bit here. Going into the last pages. The fight scene, as it kind of comes to a close, you see Colossus. I keep wanting to say Cyclops. Colossus swinging. I keep picturing the letter C. Colossus knocking Pyro out there. It was a scene I mentioned before. Blob, however, he's like, hey, you're going to take out one of mine. I'm going to take out one of yours. This is how this works. Now, this is a big move for Nightcrawler, literally. But also he's like, hey, I can't handle his strength at this point. He's squeezing me to death. But I've never, bamfed something this large before, but I'm going to try it. And so he brings it up to the top of the building and leaves him there, which I thought was fantastic. He's like, hey, look, I know technically you won't get hurt if you jump off this building, but a part of me hopes that you would. But we all know, part of Blob's abilities, he's going to be just fine. And then Avalanche kind of gets taken care of by Rogue as she comes through as well. Kind of haven't seen her this whole time.
Just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
I was like, wait, hello.
Again, you get the some really cool attacking abilities from Spiral, and then Mystique putting a gun to the head of Magneto, even though it's ironic because you'd think that wouldn't really do anything.
Just for dramatic effect there.
Yeah. Now I love that at the end on that far page there, Cyclops basically zaps the new girl Spiral, standing over her body there, says, don't worry, she's only stunned. Drop the gun, sweetheart. And it's Wolverine with his claws, like ready to basically do a snicket right to her face. And she's like, keep the claws sheathed, Wolverine. I get the message. So they basically save the day, right? They stop this new force. Kitty confirms that Lee Forrester is okay. She's found her, which and then they agree, hey, let's just leave these bad guys for the police. Meanwhile, Mystique's in the background, like, I am the police, like I'm part of them. I just picture her like being a cartoon at that point. Or like a anime, I am part of this team. And then they basically, as they want to like let them handle them, Magneto has this other moment where he says, no, he goes, I want to stay, and there's something I need to do now at this point. He does say, did you see the fear in the families that were here, the people that were just here during this memorial, how they look at us? They're more scared of us and our abilities than they are of the people who may be trying to kill them. And it was very much the same in the camps, is what he kind of describes. And so at this point now, he wants to put his foot down and kind of try to fix this or combat this, and he takes on a way bigger responsible role that you would just never picture Magneto be willing to do. But sure enough, he does, and he says, I want to turn myself in. So you see him at the end, and we go into the trial of Magneto as Mystique puts him in these handcuffs that I'm sure he could just break out of. So yeah, interesting kind of way that this issue closes out. Candis, I'm going to throw it to you first. What'd you think of kind of these last action scenes and everything with Magneto?
Yeah, I thought it was at least like a pretty good like conclusion, but also of course like a very good like cliffhanger for next time. And just like what Magneto said, of course, was very impactful at the end. And just like I wrote down kind of just what he said was like that he's like, I'm through running and hiding for my own salvation and the good of mutant kind, which is very big of him to say, obviously. And then the time has come at least to take a stand to face my accusers and my fate. So I thought it was just like really, really impactful at the end. And of course, when I saw like the chub, I was like, oh, okay. Now I haven't read the newer series, and I don't know how similar. Not that I would know to be able to compare it, but like how similar that might be to the newer series.
Oh wait, you haven't read the what?
There's like isn't there like a new mini series that was the trial of Magneto? So I don't know if this is that similar in any way.
That one, that's great, phenomenal point. Yeah. So during the Hickman era in Krakoa, they had all these events that used the names of classic events, but basically like completely reutilized. So they did their own version of Inferno. Yeah. They did their own version of I'm trying to remember a few different events. They rebranded them basically, and they used the title, The Trial of Magneto, but it was really all about Magneto coming to terms with what a crappy father he's been. And Scarlet Witch,
totally
Witch
different.
Gets kind of murdered at the
I forgot about all that.
Yeah, this was during one of the Hellfire galas, and Scarlet Witch gets murdered, and Magneto has to like take some of the blame for it, and they accuse him of committing the murder, and
Yeah.
so it's a slightly different. Yeah,
Right.
this
Different
one
trial.
is. Yeah, I mean, it was using. I think Hickman liked using some of the titles.
It was
but
more
then,
of a nod.
Recreated.
Got
Yeah,
It was more of
Yeah.
a nod towards for those who did read
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even though I didn't read that, I thought I was like literally just thinking of that because of
Yeah.
that's my only like way I was like
Sure.
familiar with it. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so really cool like to see how then the original like version will be moving forward. But of course we won't see that for a couple weeks. But
Yeah.
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 Oh man, is this true, Ryan? Off topic breaking news, Gil Gerard.
I would not be
Congratulations.
surprised
Oh, that's sad.
if Lasso says it's true. It's probably true.
Yeah.
Very sad. John, what are your thoughts here on these closing moments of Nightcrawler action and Magneto giving himself up?
I think this is a successful issue in the rebranding, not of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but of Magneto. Right? Like,
Yeah.
the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants seems still like they're on brand with their Freedom Force name,
Very much
but
on
instead it's Magneto who's showing like he's the bigger man, and he's able to take responsibility, and he is not willing to sacrifice his friends and people that respect him for the sake of winning on a battlefield that's meaningless, right? There's a line I think at the end of the original Civil War where Captain America is about to win. He's gonna totally crush Iron Man and win, but then civilians rise up and stop him, and he realizes, no, we've lost. Like, we lost the battle of the minds. We lost the battle of ideas here. And beating Iron Man with might and muscle doesn't mean anything if we can't win people over with our ideas and what we're trying to say, right? And it's the same here for Magneto. He's like, I could kick all their rear ends and just, slam them all against the wall, the giant piece of metal, but I'm not going to win. I'm going to lose something by winning on that battlefield.
Yep. Yeah, well said. Let me see.
Yes, that is Guy Ritchie in the red hair in the corner under where it says Trial of Magneto. Peter Guy Ritchie.
Oh, I was wondering if that. Yeah, that guy.
I didn't notice. Yeah.
He and Valerie are definitely the government stoolies in this.
Yep. All right, so let's well, I always forget the order of things now, John. Let's do final thoughts and grades here first. So final thoughts and grades, John. I'll throw it to you. Overall, any final thoughts and how would you grade this issue?
I think it's a wonderful comic and a very entertaining ride. I love that there's a lot of deep thoughts going on here. Lots of thoughts about personal identity and what it means to be, good versus evil, or a hero, or what it means to take care of people and or risk their lives. I think there's a lot going on here that I think is incredibly meaningful. On top of which, some very exciting action sequences, some very thrilling panel work happening here. So this is a top flight John Romita Jr. issue for me. I really got a big kick out of this, and maybe it was just coming off of Nightcrawler, and it's like,
right.
This was the palate cleanser that I really wanted. So this is a 9.4 for me. This is a lot of fun, and for me as a Magneto fan and a Mystique fan, I got everything I wanted from the two of them.
Yep. Well said. All right, Candis, what about you? Any final thoughts, and how would you grade this?
No, I definitely agree with everything John said. I honestly would put it pretty high as well. Of course, like not everything was like perfect, where they could have been a little bit stronger with some of the like Rachel with the Phoenix like elements,
Sure.
but I still liked that part of the storyline and Magneto's, of course, storyline as well in this. So I would probably say at least a 9 for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, just like with some like very minor things, like, but yeah, I thought especially, I don't know if it was because of coming off of last week's, but I think overall though, like I really liked it just because I learned so much about all the characters in this one, and a lot of really good dialogue and action panels, and a lot of really good art too throughout. I thought was good. I would say definitely one of the best that we've read in the last like couple weeks for sure.
Yeah, well said. I'm this is definitely probably one of my favorites that we've read so far this season, which might not be saying too much. I mean, we've had some great issues, but like as far as like just everything, like especially artwork and everything else, because even some of the art, it's still hit or miss for me. There were definitely more hit in this, as far as the artwork. I appreciate a lot more of it here than I feel like I have. But the heaviness of Magneto, his character building in this is like one of the things that just skyrockets this issue for me. And then Rachel Summers, her story arc and her mental kind of behind the scenes, getting a glimpse into her brain and where she's at right now. I love that. And the fact that we get to see Destiny kind of doing her thing. I love scenes like that with her. And of course, Mystique, who is oh so dangerous. Mystique always to me is one of the most dangerous mutants, or can be. And you always, if we ever like picking teams, Mystique's one of the ones I'm going to have on my team, because she is just she can be anyone, anytime, anywhere, and she can just manipulate so much. So I always love seeing her in any of these issues. But yeah, between all these heavy subjects and everything, I'm going to go with a 9.4 too. This was very high for me. I think some of the things that keep it from being a 9.8 is like the cover and some of the minor pickiness of the artwork and things like that, and maybe some of the random holes that they don't fill, like the girl from the Long Shot series and everything else, Spiral. But again, very minor nitpicking stuff at this point. So very high for me. I see Bobby gave it a 9.8. Bobby, I assume that's White Pages.
I like Joel's comment.
First. Oh, hey, Joel. What's going on?
Joel says she could be on your team and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
100%. Hope you're doing good, Joel. Let's see. Yeah, Roy Kirk gives it an 8.5. Awesome. The cover's hot. Bobby's in it for the cover. Well said, everybody here. All right, let's get into the money real quick. So issue 199, the consensus is a 9.8. There's a lot. There's 272, which I could see people from a cover perspective. Like, I do feel like this stands out a little bit more in certain ways. And even though I want it to be better, it's still like a solid cover. So I could see people, grading it for those reasons. I don't think there's any other real reason to grade it other than that. I guess if you're getting excited about the Rachel Dinners Phoenix idea, but again, John, to what John, you broke that down, and understanding that it's not like quite literally the Phoenix power. I don't think it's as significant in the sense of what I think it's more might think.
Yeah, and it's more that they're basically giving her first real code name. Because Kitty Pryde's gone by a bunch of different names, right? Sprite and Shadowcat, whatever. This is her owning her mom's identity, and she will be called Phoenix as a character. Like, that will be her code name, like Wolverine or Logan gets called, that. So I think for her, I think that's probably why that's significant, is just like, this is her sort of owning that name.
No, that's fair. So $70 for a fair market value at a 9.8, I guess is pretty fair. I mean, at that point, only about double, not even, of what it cost. I think it costs like $45 to get it something slab nowadays. So that's probably a fine deal, although there's a lot of them. So I think ultimately for me personally, I probably just want to have this raw, which I do. I know I own a copy somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if mine is a what do you call it, direct or newsy. But I just mentioned we talked about the Freedom Force kind of being their first introduction, and then first Rachel Dinners as the second Phoenix, as it's listed. Any thoughts here, John or Candis, for these numbers?
I probably want to get it raw if I can, just because I really enjoyed everything, like the actual story. So
and this is like a $1 book. This is legit. So
this is a book you should be able to find at least low readable copy for $1. All the best stuff is on the inside of this book. I don't hate this cover. I just don't love it, and it's easily forgettable, I think, in some ways.
I feel like if I have dug through it, I probably passed it for that reason, and I'll be like, oh wait, I actually really like the story, so I want to get it now.
Right. Yep. So I think the best stuff is on the inside. So I have this book raw, and I totally agree.
Agreed. All right, let's the last bit, and this is I was talking backstage. I forgot to add the additional images, but Candis, you've seen we do the MVP of the week now, so there's a lot of different options that I think that people could go with. I know Adam was pointing out Ronald Reagan could be one of the MVPs of the week if you wanted to throw that in there. The valuable I-beam as well. You have Mystique and her trickiness and her teaming up with Valerie Cooper. You could throw Magneto in there, obviously, as this is a very heavy focus around him. Heavy focus around Rachel, if you want to throw her as the MVP, or any of the other the evil mutants that kind of show up there in the end. Trying to think if there's anyone else to mention. We could mention Cyclops being the MVP with what he did to the Danger Room early on. We get Moira, who's like in a mood. Moira's in a mood. That could be the MVP, and Wolverine being the quiet, subtle one of the issue. I don't know. That's pretty big too.
Rare.
Yeah. John, who's your MVP of the week for this issue?
I mean, I'm picking first, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be super basic on this. This is a Magneto MVP book. Like, I don't know that there's a lot of other choices. He gets so wonderfully humanized. You get to see him in such a great light, and then he's willing to completely give up the chance to at victory on the battlefield for standing for something bigger. And I think it's really great. And like to your point, Justin, before we live, it leads right into issue 200, that trial of Magneto. And I understand wanting to dive right into that tonight and read that. No shame in that at all. So for me, Magneto's the MVP.
Yep. Yeah. Well said.
His eyebrows.
I saw the eyebrow comments. Yeah, they're pretty good.
That too. No, I have to agree. I think he definitely had like the strongest storyline in this whole thing, like even more than Rachel for sure, even though it was like originally the focus is supposed to be kind of on her. But I would just say like just really seeing like more character building and history with him, especially because I always think of him just being such an interesting character because he's always been known as a villain, but he really isn't, and really seeing like more examples of why it's not so black and white with him. So I think just like for those reasons, and then just because it's going to lead into like a whole other storyline, I'm really excited to read and see what happens with that. Hands down, Magneto.
I think it's interesting because Candis, you kind of came up in an era when Magneto was kind of always looked on as less of a straight up villain and had more depth. And the early appearances of Magneto, he's very much a Doctor Doom-esque kind of a mustache twirling baddie. And I saw a quote or something about the idea that he's a villain who became more of a hero because over time his perspective has, there's been a shift publicly kind of in what he stood for, and his rebrand just sort of happened naturally versus maybe Catwoman went from sexy jewel thief to like no, genuinely like on the same level as Batman, and maybe has that good inside of her that she clearly didn't have in the original versions of her in the comic, right? So I think that it's interesting to kind of come up in a time when Magneto, and maybe a lot of this credit goes as well to somebody like Ian McKellen, who really did such a marvelous job with the character. Likable. I mean, it's hard to hate Ian McKellen. You're like, but it's Gandalf. Like, how do you hate Gandalf?
Yeah, exactly. And then I think even just with like X-Men, like 90, all the 92, 97, like all of those was just like how they portray him there too. Very different. So I think it's just really cool to see him in a lot of different ways 100%. For sure.
Yeah. And don't expect, obviously, the trial of Magneto in the show and the trial of Magneto in the comics are not the same.
They're not
but the ideas and the vibe and the goal, I think, are similar insofar as allowing him the chance to be maybe better than just a villain.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Ryan says, Candis, no one is talking about Dazzler in this stream. I'm sad.
I know, I'm sorry.
Nobody
letting you down, Ryan.
Nobody wanted that. Nobody needs that.
I think it's clear to me MVP for me has to go to Kitty Pryde because Kitty Pryde is always badass and she takes care of Destiny. I mean, look, if she wasn't around, Destiny would just run rampant and just be able to call the shots on who's about to get attacked everywhere. We got to give it to Kitty Pryde.
Or does Destiny let her get her?
Oh, the plot
Because
thickens.
Destiny says, "Oh, my moment to be taken out of the game has arrived,"
That's
as in, like, she knew.
was waiting for her. Yeah.
She knew
but
it,
she built,
right?
yeah, you're right. And she built up the confidence now in Kitty even more so. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Maybe
know.
it goes to Destiny
Yeah.
then. A lot of great options in this
Yeah.
issue.
Just
All
mind
right.
blown. It's time is a flat circle, Justin.
Yeah, my head's spinning right now. All right, that's the slideshow. Man, we're doing pretty good here.
Nice.
Let's get into questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 4 trivia questions. So stick around. You guys know the deal at this point. I think we're looking for 2 correct answers per question, and we're looking for 1 incorrect answer, in which Candis will choose the funniest incorrect answer to get your name on the board. Again, this stuff can get you prizes at the end of the season. The more that your name is on the board, the better. The better chances you have to get something like the Fraim Brothers artwork as our featured artist, or one of our other crazy giveaways. So, get ready to throw those answers out there. Spelling counts if your name is Chet. Roy Kirk, get that line ready. John, you want to go first?
Yes, sir. So yeah, these questions come from the 4-issue Nightcrawler miniseries that we covered last time. My question has to do with the Danger Room, where they, transported Nightcrawler away. It was being managed by Kitty and Ilyana. My question is, what was on Ilyana's shirt?
I know that.
What was on Ilyana's t-shirt as she was working in the Danger Room? What was she wearing? It was actually, somebody even pointed it out on the live stream.
I totally know that one too.
Yep. And there's the Roy Kirk line. Appreciate you, Jackson.
I'm gonna give Adam MJ, even though because they're really, I guess you could say Michael Jordan is another MJ, but it's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you, Adam. Sorry, Bobby, he did get there ahead of you.
Joel says Lila Cheney tour t-shirt. Yeah, I love it.
Lasso and Adam both got points. Sorry if I didn't say that clearly.
Okay.
Dazzler.
Ryan saying not Dazzler. He's very sad. Gravy stains, says Bobby.
Interesting.
Roy Kirk says Archie Andrews.
I see what you're trying to do there.
Playing to the judge. Mary Jane, Joel says. I like it. Yeah, I feel like this could be a layup.
I thought this was a pretty funny question.
Yeah.
A lot of options, folks. A lot of options.
Yeah. Give it another second here. Candis, anything, or I guess out of those, which ones?
How do you pronounce Toad?
We do have that shirt. Thanks to Tony. Shout out Tony.
It's a good shirt.
Adam Ant from Bobby. And Chris says, if you had to have buttons on that shirt, right? All they did was press buttons.
That
right?
is true.
That's right. They did push all the buttons. And Bobby says, "Boy George."
I would say the Lila Cheney tour shirt, just because that just reminds me of a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of different things. A lot of leather related things.
Yeah. Good old Sam. Yep, knocking with Lila.
Joel the Geek with his first entry onto the raffle wheel.
Nice
Congrats,
job,
Joel.
Nice job. All right. My first question. What did everyone keep calling Nightcrawler throughout the series? Remember, we had 4 issues. This is a 1 through 4 issue for Nightcrawler from last episode. John did a great job running through 4 issues and keeping it under 2 hours. But throughout that time, what was it that they were calling him? Yeah, that's right. And it's funny. So the correct answer here, Ryan Magic Lasso and Adam. It was Boggy or Bogey or Bougie or however you want to, or Boogie, however you want to pronounce it.
Who knows?
But so I'm going to give one. So Ryan and Adam. I'm also going to give one, John, to Bobby, because Bobby had technically thrown that up here at 10:24. And so so before we even got into the questions, like right as we
I love it.
So just for Bobby being on top of it,
Bobby the Boggy.
Let's give him one as well. So
that's hilarious.
So we got 3 there, but we are looking for some funny incorrect answers, folks. So if you got anything, Again, what did
did they call
everyone keep
Nightcrawler?
Calling him?
Yeah.
Or what would Amanda Sefton call him?
I know what I would type in.
Adam said the Oogie Boogie. Oogie
I'll
Boogie.
type it here in just a sec. If nobody types it in, and this is both true and funny, so I got a true and funny answer. Oogie Boogie. There it is.
Yeah.
Boogie de la Ghetto. There it is.
that should be the name right there. Like that.
All right, I'm putting my answer in. Everybody's too slow.
All right,
they call him Daddy.
They did. They call him Daddy.
They called him Daddy.
Very accurate.
Those little BAMs were calling him Daddy, and so so were the female BAMs who were like Daddy.
Yeah. different context. They kill them crazy mofos. Yeah, Diana Ross. All right. Well, I gave an extra one out to Bobby, so we'll move on then from this one.
Wait, give Candis a shot unless if she has one that she really wants.
Was there one Candis that you wanted? I didn't really see. Papa Tall Smurf. Yeah, I mean that's true. Then we had these 4.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know if this was supposed to be an answer, but just the way to go, Boggy Delaghetto is.
Boggy Delaghetto.
Who said that? Roy Kirk. Yeah, let's do that.
Jackson.
He's on the board.
You got it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Nice. All right, John. What's your other question?
Yeah. While they are traveling through these dimensions, at one point, Nightcrawler needs some help, and he decides to call for another version of Wolverine. How does he summon Wolverine? In what way is he able to bring Wolverine from this crazy dimension to his aid? How do you summon Wolverine? If you were gonna just go outside right now and summon Wolverine, what would you do?
I don't even remember.
Lots of comedy available here.
Yeah, let me look back at.
Wow. All right, first 2 answers are correct. Yeah, he blew on this big horn thing. It was it was really obnoxious.
And all those weird
horn.
Yeah, those weird noises kind of came out of it.
Yeah. He called his pager.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, he's working the corner along with the rest of the Wire gang.
Rings a dinner bell. Yep. Frail dancing. I had brought that up the other day, telling Lady No Good about how we used to pick at Wolverine for using the term frail back.
Yeah. That's what you call a woman. A woman's called a frail.
It was before.
Oh, he did it a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not here to protect a frail. Yeah. I'm not taking orders from a frail. Yeah,
that's funny.
It was a time.
Frail dancing. Use a hologram of Jean in in a bathing suit.
That'll do it.
You did what with the big horn? Candis, anything here that you want to pick as your?
I liked
choice?
Bobby's. He called his pager.
Pager, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Page him. Do it, Bobby.
On the board. All right, last question of the evening. I'm interested. Man, so curious to see who's going to get this. What was the nickname that I gave to the shark villain revealed at the end of the first issue? He was the villain throughout the series. What was the name that I gave him?
4 words required there.
Yes.
You kind of have 4 words. There were 4 words kind of in that name.
What was that nickname? Yeah. Technically, it's his name is part of it.
I called him Shark Boy. That was me. I called him Shark Boy, but Justin had a better name for him. Sharktopus.
The Sharktopus.
Sharknado.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we didn't really have many Sharknado jokes throughout that.
No,
Yeah.
I should have had more
series.
gifts. Should have maybe had some Sharknado.
We had to jump through a lot of it though, so it's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have as many gifts as many.
Could have been going all night. Could have been 4-hour stream, you know.
Absolutely. White Fang. Boggy.
Yeah, Boggy's a good one. That needs to be a t-shirt. Boggy.
I don't think anybody's going to get the correct answer on this one.
Come on, I said it so many times. So many times.
I even started saying it.
Man, yeah, you did. That's right, you did. Like that one. Oh man.
But I barely remember what I did yesterday, so I don't know how well I'm going to remember. And we can go, Julia Louise Dreyfus. Don't make fun of one of our icons of comedy, Bobby. You keep her name out your mouth.
Don't say that name too many times in front of a mirror, Ryan. Yeah. Get visited by the bogeyman. The bogeyman. I mean,
all right.
You don't want to say this one either. Yeah, if no one gets this, we'll go. Candice, is there a funny answer that you want to go? And then I'll reveal the correct answer if no one else gets this.
Let's do Sharktopus.
All right, Adam makes stuff up.
Adam
on the board this evening.
He caught up a lot of ground tonight. He tied for second place just tonight.
Adam, nice.
Adam did. Yeah.
Very nice.
It's hard to catch up with Ryan. You're still about 6 off of the lead, but you're second place, tied with Impressed.
Wow. Yeah. So the correct answer was our boy Shag Green, the Shag Machine. Come on. He's the Shag Machine, Shag Green. That was his name.
How could we forget?
Shag Green, the Shag Machine. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, there you go. That was our shark villain. Anyways, those are the questions that we had this evening. We want to have a huge thank you to you, Candis, for joining us as always. It's always a pleasure and always a good time talking X-Men with you. And again, so excited you're loving these stories as much as we are. So thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for always having me back. Always a fun time.
Yep, absolutely. And he goes, Ryan says, I need that Frame Bros cover bad. Yeah. Hey, and again, remember, everybody who's got their name on the board, you can still get your name plenty of time throughout this season. Yeah, other than that, again, if you're not following Candis, make sure you do so. I put her link in the description below. So again, thank you, Candis, as always. And of course, make sure you're following John, because we will be back in 3 weeks, technically. We're going to take these next 2 Tuesdays off. So just as a reminder, so just have that noted, but we will be back over on John's channel in the first Tuesday of the new year. So
yeah, January 6th, and we're reading New Mutants Special Edition #1. With Bearded Comic Bro.
Yes, and
it's a nice, long, meaty comic.
Okay.
And that Bearded's going to be very grouchy with me.
Oh God, that does go in the order for my.
Oh, that does come up next in your book.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. And then what comes after that?
And it's Arthur Adams and Terry Austin.
That's what I told you. Art Adams does that, and then I think my Omni does the annual after that, the giant-sized 80-page annual by Art Adams on art. Immediately after that.
Yeah, let's see.
So both of those drop before we do issue 200.
Yeah, then that's next. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of pages. Wow.
Yeah, 2 really big issues, and then issue 200 is not a tiny book either. It's a double size, I think, issue.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Lots of reading.
Yeah, lots of big stories.
Lots of reading over the break.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. Appreciate you all. Thanks again. So we'll see you guys in the new year. Get your reading, enjoy some comic book reading. Hopefully, everybody during the break, and hopefully, John and I will be back to 100% by the time we go live on the next show. So we need you guys. Gang, we got to maybe try to figure out. I know I feel like I said this last year too. We got to try to figure out a Lego build maybe at the end of the year. I feel like at end of the year, like
the mansion
needs to happen.
A 4-day event of building the mansion.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that definitely would be a 4-day event.
Who could build the mansion faster live on YouTube?
Not me. I'd be out. I'd be complaining still about how Lego shorted me.
They didn't put that dang piece in there.
Yeah. Or I lose it in the rug of the abyss.
Always
happens too.
No, but I am down. I took apart all of my Batmobiles because of my nephews are coming over for Christmas, and I thought, everybody could get a bag and build a Batmobile. Yeah. So I'll probably have, if they get bored, I may have a lot of Batmobiles to rebuild.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure I have something.
Matt said Bearded Comic Bro still getting stuck with the New Mutants book again this year.
So true.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody. The Magnetos of Mansion. Don't lose the eyebrows. Yeah, that's right. maybe we'll try to plan something here in these next couple of weeks.
Yes,
So if anybody's
please.
interested in tuning in or even joining us, let us know.
Yeah.
But those are always fun to do.
Mhm.
So, all right, gang, we're gonna end the stream here. So smash the like button on the way out, and until next time, we will talk to you later.